Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Billy. Today I would like to share with you two cotton shirt dresses that are in a way the continuation of the surfing dog print dress that I shared with you in my video 57. First dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from about 2 yards of about 55-inch wide cotton poplin that I purchased from movefabrics.com. And so here is a close-up of the print itself. And as you can see, it looks a bit like an animal print, but in a sort of beigey background and pink sort of a foreground. And so overall I like it, even though originally when I received this in the mail, I wasn't sure if I liked it or not. It seems like, not sure, because I don't think a full-on animal print, sort of leopard print, is my thing at all. I just don't think that print suits me at all. But overall, I am quite happy about this one. So kind of like, it's good to kind of step out of one's comfort zone every once in a while. So that's kind of what happens here. Originally, after I made that surfing dog print shirt dress, I loved it so much. And so I wanted to make a gazillion of those. And so I just did a bulk cutting out. So I think I went ahead and cut out 6 shirt dresses that are identical to that one. After 4 of that shirt dresses, I decided I was good. I was happy with the 4 and I did not need more. And so I decided to tinker with the pattern pieces that were already cut out. So for example, in my video 59, for the military looking print shirt dress, I decided to use a different skirt. And because of that change, that also necessitated other changes. So as a result, I also had to change up the collar pieces and also the sleeve length as well. But overall, I am quite happy about how it turned out. And so for this one here today, that was already cut out also. And so I decided to do something different. So originally, I wanted to have a bit more of a 1950s vibe type of shirt dress with a bit straighter silhouette, but not a full-on kind of pencil skirt. Like the military looking print dress in video 59. And so what I did was I kept the original waist seam of that new look 6843 view A quarter circle skirt. And so what I did was I just, after I attached the skirt, I just kind of started pinching, just kind of going like this, and then see where I would like the silhouette to be. And the easiest thing to accomplish this is by wearing the dress inside out, and then you just kind of pin it. And then once you're kind of happy with it, then I basted it. And then once I was happy with it, or maybe I needed to make additional adjustments, and I made those adjustments. And then, so this is the final result. So overall, I am very happy about the silhouette. I think it does kind of, at least to me anyway, have that 1950s shirt dress vibe. So overall, I am very happy about it. If you have been following me on the evolution of these shirt dresses, you may recall that the bodice of the shirt dress is modified from the My Monster shirt by the pattern company Dress Your Body, and that I talked about in video 48. However, somehow this dress bodice just never truly fits right. There was always something a little bit off. I mean, usually it's not bad, but in dresses where the fabric is more tightly woven, such as this one here, I think you can kind of see, just somehow it's a little bit, extra fabric here, and it doesn't matter how much I adjusted and moving the darts up and down, adjusting the size, it just never quite fit right. Until I figured it out later on. So I think I most likely will have to do some major surgery on this dress. But then, originally I wanted to fix it before I share with you. But then, I've been quite busy at work, and then also there is no immediate hurry to fix this dress. So I thought that, let me just share with you the way it is, and then kind of show you why the bodice didn't really quite fit, just kind of like, just didn't quite fit. And so then you could have a comparison of the before and after when I am done with the alterations. The current alteration plan that I have for this dress is that because I still have enough fabric left over, so I plan to cut out the long sleeves from the accidental 70s yellow floral dress that I talked about in video 54. And I'm thinking that if I use that sleeves and also the cuff with the lap cuff, it may not work with the pointed collar like this. And but fortunately, I originally cut out 4 pocket pieces for this dress, but I never used those pocket pieces because I have learned that inseam pockets do not work when the dress is when the skirt portion is fairly fitted. So I never used those pocket pieces, and so I could cut out new collar pieces from those and just connect them with the center back seam. So I'm thinking about more of a rounded collar, more like a Peter Pan collar, paired with that a little puffy but not very puffy long sleeves from the video 54. So that's the current plan. So do let me know what you think. Sometimes it's helpful to have a sort of outside input, so so if you have some idea, I would love to hear from you. The second dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from 2 yards of 44-inch wide cotton duck fabric that I purchased from Walmart.com almost 2.5 years ago. That was right after I started sewing garments for myself. And so here's a close-up of the print of this fabric. And I loved it because it is very similar to the Toile, the Jouy print, the very famous French Toile, and I thought I really liked it, and so that's why I bought it. And when I first bought it, I had no idea what a cotton duck fabric was, and so when it arrived, I was quite surprised. It feels a bit like a canvas. In the original it was quite stiff, but after I pre-washed it to prepare for this dress today, it's actually softened up quite a bit. And so overall, I am very happy about this fabric. Unlike the shirt dresses that I have been making with a separate bodice and the skirt, this one actually is a continuation. So the bodice, there's no seam in the middle. There's no skirt seam. It's just one piece. So what happened was I wanted to make it the shirt dress a bit more straight in the silhouette. And I decided instead of tinkering with the skirt portion, I would just make it, like a one piece kind of front and one piece in the back kind of thing. Well, actually 2 pieces in the front because of the button placket. And so what I did was I laid out the pattern pieces for the bodice, and then I used the military looking shirt dress that I talked about in my video 59 as a guide when I draft out, so just kind of follow that silhouette for that dress and just kind of follow, extend from the waist seam and just kind of go down. And so that's how I got to the pattern piece for this dress. And as you can tell, it was not particularly difficult at all. And that, as I was making it up, I kind of adjusted a little bit, sort of same thing, kind of pinch a little bit to make sure I like the silhouette. And then after I made the changes, I just mark the changes on my pattern pieces for future makes. So as you can see here, let me show you. So this dress does have a much straighter silhouette than the other ones. And it's pretty organic just because that's how I drafted the pattern. And so that's kind of what it looks like. And for this one, I decided to pair this dress with a Peter Pan collar, but still with a collar stand, because I do like it better with collar stand versus a sort of a flat collar, but that is just personal preference. And so that's so that's the collar. And about the sleeves here, I used the sort of puff sleeve that I used in the sort of orangey floral dress that I talked about in video 39. But that was not the original choice, actually. Originally, I cut out the same sleeve pieces as the pink leopard print dress that I just shared with you earlier. But after I added the sleeves, I just decided that shape was just wrong for this dress. And then I saw that, maybe that puff sleeve will work better. However, by that time, as you can, as I just mentioned, I only had 2 yards of this toile looking fabric. And so I had enough left over that was able to cut out one sleeve piece, but there was not enough to cut out a pair. So what I decided to do was just, I just patched up the 2 sleeve pieces that I cut out earlier, and then just connect them, and then cut out the second sleeve pattern piece from that one. And so that's what happened here. So here, this is the right shoulder here. So as you can see, it's kind of not so obvious because of the busy print here. There is actually a seam down, in the center of the sleeve here. And because I want, and then I iron open the seams. But then because I wanted to make sure it stays flat and it will not get moved around, when I wash this in the future, I also sew down the sort of the seam allowances portion. So in addition to having this seam here, there are also 2 stitching lines on either side of the seam, so that I will be able to secure down the folded over portion on the inside. But you know what? Actually, it's not so noticeable at all because of this very busy print. So overall, it works out fine. So as you can see, it really is okay to kind of take risk a bit, in garment making, because very few things are irreversible. So anyway, so that's sort of what I wanted to share with you. Despite sort of the heavy gauge nature of this duck fabric, it's actually relatively loosely woven, or not particularly densely woven at all, much less dense than a typical quilting cotton. And so in this case, I did serge all the pattern pieces, even though normally I do not serge the edges if a garment is to be fully lined, just because traditionally I do not care for the bulk that will be added from the serged or overlocked seam. But in this case, it was necessary because I could tell it was fraying already during the construction process. So I wanted to make sure that this garment will last, through many washes. And so I also line this dress, as I always do, pretty much 100% of the time, with this royal blue viscose rayon. And this is what happens when you buy things online. This viscose rayon is a lot brighter than I anticipated. But fortunately, actually it works out great for as a lining for this dress, because overall I do think the color matches very well. So overall, this dress has been a very happy surprise, because I was just really surprised, pleasantly surprised, how well all these elements came together to form this dress. Because I just only had this idea in my head, and sometimes it's really such a wonderful feeling. Well, actually it's always a wonderful feeling when all these ideas came together cohesively, with a very beautiful result that I am very happy and will be proud to wear. Even though overall I am very happy how this dress turned out, this dress still suffered from the same sort of fit issue that I mentioned earlier in that pink leopard print dress. And that's when I realized that the shoulder seam doesn't seem to sit quite right. And then all of a sudden that kind of allowed me to think, maybe this whole time that I was having problem with the fit of the bodice is because the shoulder seam was not quite right. And so I went back to a pattern piece that I knew fit me very well, and which was the Onella Pussy Bow blouse dresses that I made late last year. And then I just can't compare the pattern pieces, and then realize that the Onella Pussy Bow blouse, the back piece has a more slanted shoulder versus the Dress Your Body, the My Monster shirt pattern. And then I'm thinking, like, could this be it? And then so I did some experiments, and yeah, it turned out that was the case. But this one is still the old bodice. But because because of the nature of this print, and also the nature of this sort of more loosely woven duck print, I feel that the fit may not be ideal, but I'm overall still happy with it. So I will not be doing major surgery on this dress. Here is a quick video of this navy blue Toile de Jouy-esque shirt dress, and I paired the dress with a pair of 3.5-inch heels in mahogany. And I am just so very pleased how it turned out. It really exceeded my expectations, so that is always a good thing. And so since I am a tax lawyer, you may wonder if this is something that I would actually wear for work. And the answer is a resounding yes. These days in New York City's legal market, nobody is really expected to show up to work in a suit. And this is the case for both men and women, and also the case well before COVID. And so, for example, if you watched Judge Amy Barrett's confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court Justice last year, regardless of your political leaning, as far as I could tell, she did not wear any suit at all. For those confirmation hearings, she wore dresses that were tailored, fitted, and in dark colors. And in a way, that is exactly the trend for female lawyers these days, at least in New York. I cannot say much about how lawyers dress in other markets. And this is such a huge contrast to when I first started working, and where really, both men and women were expected to show up in suits, well-tailored suits. And I started my legal career with a very white shoe Wall Street law firm, and we dealt with investment bankers all the time. We had a partner there who was in charge of the lateral hiring, and that means she was in charge of hiring of lawyers that were coming from another firm to join my old firm. So she was not in charge of the entry level associates that were just graduating from law school. And so anyway, so this partner would routinely say in your face that something you were wearing did not fit right, or the color was wrong, and or it had wrinkles or certain things, and then she will then send you to tailors to have tailored clothes made, or at least properly altered. And at the time, it sounds kind of harsh, and we used to call her the fashion police. But now, in hindsight, because of that, I learned to really dress properly for my work. And there was also another reason why lawyers of that firm have consistently be some of the best dressed lawyers in New York City. Not necessarily the most expensive clothes, but most well dressed. And also because we needed to deal with investment bankers on Wall Street. So the idea is also we needed to be able to go, sort of head to head to compete with these Wall Street bankers who have a much higher salary and also higher budget for clothing. So you can compete at that same level, not just intellectually, but also in how you carry yourself and how you dress. So now in hindsight, it was really good training. So actually, I'm quite happy that I went through that, even though I had been the recipient of some motherly sort of constructive criticism sometimes. But it was all good fun and all worked out very well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. So please do stay safe, be well, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye bye.